Welcome back to the SEO Weekly, where queries are weird, advice is controversial, and everything depends. I'm your host, Garrett Sussman of iPullrank, and we've got the first viral 2022 Google Search is Dying article, so I can't wait to dive into that. We've got SEO Mindset versus SEO Champion. How do you kind of navigate that in-house? And iPullrank has a TikTok channel. Yeah, we got it done and did that. And I'm sad to report that this is the last episode of the SEO Weekly before a month-long hiatus, but don't you worry, I'll be back. Remember, it's not the end of the journey, it's the friends we met along the way. Let's dive in. So you heard it correct. I am going on a month-long hiatus of the SEO Weekly, but don't you worry, my man Aaron is going to be cranking out a ton of amazing SEO content for iPullrank. In fact, he's created a TikTok channel. We've already got some content up there. It's SEO focused, but you know what? I'll let Aaron introduce himself and tell you about what he's got up his sleeve. Aaron, take it away.
Thanks for the introduction, Garrett. My name is Aaron. I'm the Senior Digital Marketing Specialist here at iPullrank. And over the next couple of weeks, we've got some great content coming to you guys. We've got the Rankable podcast, where we're going to be taking a little bit of a pivot. We're going to be doing some deep dives into the brands and products that we all know and love in our daily lives. We're going to be going over what their marketing campaigns are, why they work, and how you can use those campaigns to learn from it and use it in your own business. We're also going to be giving away some super valuable marketing content on TikTok, so you should follow us at iPullrank Agency.
So there you go. Make sure you follow iPullrank Agency on TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. We're going to be doing the TikTok. Anyway, so to start off, not a lot of Google news this week. Google had a fun little tweet. Yes, fun fact, 15% of all Google searches have never been searched before. We are a creative species, aren't we, that humankind? We're doing all the interesting searches. A lot of them are really weird. Check out Semrush's Twitter channel. They'll point out some of the ridiculous searches that you see, like in volume, shockingly so. So DKB, this anonymous independent researcher, put out an article that went viral on Hacker News and Reddit. And it's always interesting when the non-SEO community talks about SEO. There's always this perception of gaming the system, that, SES is snake oil, lots of kind of bad ideas out there. Well, DKB wrote this article all about how he believes Google search is dying, how now everybody, when they search, appends Reddit to the end of their query. Oh, all about my Lenovo laptop at Reddit, plus Reddit. So you can find Reddit conversations via Google because, like a lot of people have echoed recently, that the Google results for products or, recipes are garbage, that there's a lot of, bot and awful and corporate traffic out there, and the only authentic conversations that you can find are via Reddit. He actually referenced Paul Graham, who showed a little kind of chart image about how Reddit has been increasing as a social network over the last 10-15 years, where people are using it more and more as a search engine to be able to find interesting insights and opinions on a variety of different topics, like basically everything. Then he references Slava Akhmekhet, which he put it out just the fact that we all talk about that Google is trying to generate profits, trying to make money, and the top 4 search results above the fold might all be ads. Check out that screenshot. And we do see that from time to time. Now, to kind of simplify the argument, because what he's ultimately saying, DKB, in this article, is he says, Reddit's currently the most popular search engine. Google is dead. Long live Google plus site Reddit. A Latvian potato. You gotta love Reddit and their anonymous usernames, but a Latvian potato wrote on Reddit his take, and he put it like this. The article is saying that people trust less of the results Google shows compared to seeing discussions of it on Reddit. My 2 cents are, they're not entirely wrong. there is a lot of over optimization, and Google isn't always doing the best job of providing great results. They tried to improve this with things like the product reviews update that came out in December, which is still not there 100%. I think the takeaway, and remember, this is the SEO Weekly, it's not the Google Weekly, is that all of these communities, all of these different platforms are in essence search engines. And if you want to find sometimes the best information about what you're interested in, sometimes it's important to go to the niche, go to the community, and search there. Is it a better experience to search, whatever your query is plus Reddit and find the conversation there? Sure, sometimes, but Reddit is also a bubble. There's also a certain type of demographic person that uses Reddit that might not be reflective of the entire internet, the entire world. So my takeaway is they're not wrong that sometimes you'll find better answers on other search engines, other platforms. However, Google's not going anywhere. And so if you're searching for communities, that's going to be a place that you want to be present as a marketer, as a SEO specialist. You do want to search engine optimize places outside of Google. Sometimes that's social media. So I don't know, I'd be curious to hear what you think about this. Another kind of Google story, not super big, but web stories continue to be a thing. So web stories are a very visual, interactive type of content that can appear in search results on Google Discover. It's sometimes hard to track, so Google for Creators actually put together a little data studio template connected with analytics on how you can actually track your metrics for web stories if that's something that you are investing some resources into. It's another way of discoverability and to show up in search results, and now you can track it a little more effectively with this help from Google for Creators. So cool resource there, that's worth checking out. So Chima Mmeje put together a really nice Twitter thread kind of outlining Ahrefs Webmaster tool. So this is like a free tool. It's a simplified version of Ahrefs. You can access it at any point, but she highlighted why it's so great if you have a low budget or you want to just get some more insights, but you don't want to go all in on Ahrefs. So first off, they surface, issues that you can work on right out of the gate, whether it's like 404 issues for URLs. They have a really nice simplified dashboard to look at. And then they cover a range of different kind of mini deep dives in terms of like backlink analysis or keyword position rankings or even like referring domains. Check it out, it's free, and I like the way that Chima kind of broke down the value that it adds. Thank you for doing that. Speaking of Chima, she has launched an initiative which is the Freelance Coalition for Developing Countries. This is so cool, it's been around for a while, but basically she connects SEO freelance mentors with people in developing countries who are looking to become freelancers themselves. There's a lot of participation, people looking for mentors. She is currently looking for additional mentors. This is a free program. So check out the link in the description and please reach out to Chima if you want to be a mentor to one of these folks who are starting off their freelance career. Awesome initiative. Thanks for doing that, Chima. Another really great Twitter thread via Semrush was by Kristal Audain. So what Kristal did is she put a little thread together all about the value of having an SEO mindset on your team as opposed to depending on just one SEO champion in an entire organization to be like someone who's like, by the way, we should be doing SEO. If everyone has that kind of mindset, you're going to be more effectively integrating that into all of your efforts and, a rising tide raises all boats sort of situation. So Kristal broke it down in the thread. She says, recently companies are waking up and realizing that SEO is important to their overall strategy, resulting in an increase in corporate SEO positions. However, more times than not, this results in only one or two SEOs on a team carrying the banner for the entire company. This can be a lonely place. SEO work should not only fall on the shoulders of the SEOs in title, but should be a team effort. This can be accomplished in one of two ways: hire SEOs who work cross-functionally outside of the SEO team, or have the SEO subject matter experts teach other members of the team basic SEO skills based on their duties. By making SEO a staple in the strategic toolkit, it makes ideation, implementation, and analysis so much more effective than having one or two champions that are constantly going to bat for the cause. I think there are a bunch of organizations that do this really effectively, whether it's G2 or the New York Times, are thinking about it across their entire marketing, entire content team, the importance of SEO. Great thread, Kristal. Thanks for putting that together. In terms of general SEO, so we actually haven't gotten an update recently on the desktop page experience update rollout that was promised to start in February. We're more than halfway through at this point, and it's kind of been crickets there. That said, Toby Noizar wrote for iPullrank a great article about how you can prepare for the desktop page experience update, basically focusing on your core web vitals for desktop using tools like Lighthouse, Chrome dev tools, and even the page speed insights tool available. And then he gave some tips on how to improve the page speed for desktop, whether it's minifying certain files, compressing your images, a lot of those really important, simple things that can get very technical, but will help the load speed of your pages. Great article by Toby, check that out. In technical SEO, JC Chouinard did this awesome, super comprehensive technical post for OnCrawl, all about evaluating the quality of causal impact predictions. Now, causal impact's a library, a statistical analysis for SEO experiments to be able to identify statistical significance of these different hypotheses and experiments. One thing that JC does here, so he breaks down using control groups and how you can get wildly different results, even sometimes saying statistical significance for your experiment, but then you run it again and you don't get that, or you get the opposite result. He goes through why this is so challenging, how you could use causal impact to identify, the result and feel pretty good about it. But ultimately, there's always going to be these changing factors. It's not always going to be 100% reliable, whether you're using tools or doing everything kind of manually on your own. He has a lot of great tips on methodology and other resources to check out. Ultimately, it's a great post that helps you take a measured look at SEO experimentation and why it's challenging but also valuable. Adam Gent put together another awesome kind of SEO sprint article all around how to create a outcome-driven SEO roadmap. He goes all the way from ideation to presentation to the C-suite. He breaks down, how you want to start with a business case, create the different, SEO projects, and then execute them in terms of specific tasks and tickets for your engineers to go through. A lot of great frameworks and visualizations of how you can do this. So if you're working in any sort of agile or kind of sprint mode with your SEO, working with your engineering team, everything that Adam's been putting out is hugely effective and helpful to kind of gather your thoughts and plan out roadmap the way you're doing SEO. Big news in the SaaS space, the SEO enterprise tool Conductor actually purchased the technical SEO tool ContentKing. ContentKing has been growing significantly over the last 5-10 years, where they provide a lot of different alerts and monitoring for technical SEO issues that can come up. Being integrated into Conductor is going to be a huge value for the enterprise SEO tool. There hasn't been any specifics on what the roadmap is for this new acquisition, but when these two big tools come together, it's always interesting to see how this plays out, something to keep an eye on there. Alice Roussel used Screaming Frog and Google Search Console data to put together a really nice Google Data Studio template that you can use. It's for free, but feel free to buy her some coffee. It covers a range of different Screaming Frog and Google Search Console data and visualizes it very effectively. So for instance, covering crawl overviews, search performances, accessibility, technical performances, mobile performances, internal links, content, and it has the Explorer. You can use that tool to connect to your, import your Screaming Frog data and start to visualize it, whether you're doing it in-house or on behalf of clients. Great work by Alice on that. And Dave Smart, we've last few weeks talking about the URL inspection API for Google Search Console. He's put it into good use. So basically with his new tool for free, you can identify which of your URLs might be losing impressions depending on specific time frames. And if you identify that, you can then see using the URL inspection tool, are there indexing or crawl issues that you need to be aware of? So really cool, slick looking tool by Dave. Nice work putting that together and making it available. He has a whole bunch of free tools that you can access. So definitely check out his page at Tame the Bots and see what is available to, tinker with if you're doing any sort of technical SEO. Kristal Audain has her awesome SEO Chrome extension. It just got added to Product Hunt. No major updates there, but it is such a cool free tool. Go ahead to Product Hunt and give it an upvote if you want to support her and everything that she's doing with Marketing SERP and that tool. Just a badass tool that, for you to be able to pull a bunch of SEO related, metadata from a given URL, very easily visualized in the Chrome extension just as you go to each page. Awesome. And then Mozcon 2022 is starting to accept applications and pitches from community speakers. They set aside 6 15-minute slots so you can pitch anything related to marketing. There are all sorts of tips on the article included there, but the deadline for that is a week from today, so the 25th. So if you want to, present at Mozcon, get a free ticket, and meet some awesome people and network, apply to pitch and give your presentation for Mozcon 2022. Finally, when it comes to Rankable, as I mentioned, with a month off for the SEO Weekly, we're also taking a month off of my Rankable interviews, but I got one more that just happened. John Murch is the director of software engineering at iPullrank. We talked all about the changing nature of SERPs, under the hood of the SERPs, talking about web scraping and data pipelines. It was a cool technical conversation. Definitely check that out. And speaking of John Murch, him and our own Mike King, next Thursday on February 24th at 1 p.m. are doing a webinar all around why your rank tracking is not enough. I think it's going to be really interesting. It talks about, how the whole idea of measuring, the 10 blue links is outdated with all the ads and the rich snippets that do appear in the SERPs. So focusing on more of an absolute ranking, taking pixels into consideration. Him and Mike are going to go through all of that really cool stuff and what you can do to improve your own rank tracking. And as I mentioned, Aaron is going to be rocking things. He's going to do Rankable. He's going to do TikTok. Little clips, so definitely make sure that you follow us on the iPullrank agency on TikTok. Outside of that, things will be popping up on our YouTube channel, so please subscribe, like, share. I will miss you guys over the ladies and gents over the next month. I've got good things going on. I'm not sharing anything publicly, but I will be back. I will miss everything. And so, have a great weekend. Have a great month. I'll be back in late March, early April, in like a lion, out like a lamb. So I'll come back like a lion or lamb or something. Anyway, thanks again. Appreciate your support and watching and, loving on the SEO Weekly. I always appreciate it. You have a great weekend and I will see you in the future, friends.